Hey, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Clinic Gym Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Satterley. And today, I'm actually not joined by anybody. But in fact, we have a special recording for you. So we are going to, after I do this intro, we're going to cut into this was kind of a live workshop I did with Jon Morrison of getclear.ca. So he's a marketing expert that helps you clarify your message, clarify your website. And what we did on this interview, if you want, or this workshop, was we worked with three different doctors who have a clinic and a gym. So they believe in the model, but they're trying to send that message to their clients. And what Jon was able to do is go through the different sites, and we kind of picked apart certain parts and pieces to help these doctors have a little bit more success as they're trying to send that message to their website. Since so many people look up at your website before they kind of contact you, we wanted to clarify that message. Jon goes over a ton of great detail here. This is like a consulting call with a guy that, he charges $1,500 an hour typically, but here he was willing to give it away for free. And he talks a little bit about a new service he's offering, which is called Clinic Sites, clinicsites.co. So it's a pretty exciting new thing. And this is a website builder that displays information about your clinic and then pulls in the information from your EMR. So like if you're using Jane, for example, pulls in the hours, the providers that are available, and all that. And when one provider leaves and you add another bio, make sure that your website is up to date immediately rather than you having to go in and change everything, right? So it's kind of an exciting, more efficient model, which I'm really excited to bring to you guys. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to listen to this while you're driving, while you're doing dishes, whatever it is you do when you listen to podcasts. But if you are interested, you can see what we're talking about. The video of this is still up in the Clinic Gym Hybrid discussion group on Facebook. So if you want to go to Clinic Gym Hybrid discussion group on Facebook and click on media or files, you will see this video file, and you can kind of follow along and see the exact pictures that we're referring to, the colors we're referring to, and the layout and whatnot. I think, man, if you are setting up your website or you want to go back and polish up your website, the tips that Jon gives in this interview are absolutely amazing. And he kind of hits it from three different sides. So one website was really well done and just needed some polishing. So I call that the diamond, just needed to be polished up. One website was already maybe a ruby and needed to be polished into a diamond. I know that it doesn't really work that way, but just for sake of my analogy here, roll with me. And then one was a rock that we were trying to make into a ruby. So we kind of had three different levels of websites here, and Jon went through and looked at all of them and offered a lot of feedback, a lot of great information that I think no matter what your clinic is or what you're about, it definitely will help you out. So go ahead and listen to this interview. It's a long one. It's almost an hour and 15 long, which is certainly longer than most of our normal interviews on Clinic Gym Radio. But I'm really happy to have Jon Morrison from getclear.ca. That's up in Canada. His company helps clinicians like you and I clarify our message and really create great websites and great storefronts for our patients so that they can hire us for what we do rather than being vague and misleading about it. So with that, we'll jump into this interview. By the way, if you are somebody that's looking to communicate more with your clients or set up better ways to get reviews and two-way texting and whatnot, check out clinicgymconnect.com. And maybe I'll do a little bump in for it later. But that's our new product, our new software product. Really excited to have it. So with that, we'll jump into Jon Morrison and I and a few other doctors talking all about clarifying our websites. Thanks.
All the different website builders out there. And I said, there's got to be something easy that's not super expensive. Because if you hire someone, it can be quite expensive. And I just knew that the chiropractic budget does not always allow for that, which is why did I not get into dentists? I don't know. Providence being my guide, I ended up with chiropractors, which means I'm always looking for the best possible deal for people on a budget. So you guys can keep more money and instead of paying people like, those marketers out there.
So I think one thing too is people forget that if you relinquish this to an agency or marketer or something, sometimes they have you if the business relationship doesn't work out and you want to move, sometimes they charge you or they hold your site and all its content hostage, basically, and that's just not a great plan either. That happened to me a couple times, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, and that's, my good friend Jeff Langmaid would say that there's a difference between owning the content of your site and leasing it. If you lease it, then you can get a head start right away. someone will hand you a website already done with all these words on it. You're like, oh my goodness, I don't have to do anything except pay all this money. Okay, I'll pay the money because I don't have the time. But then you realize that there's different options out there. You want to move with someone, go to a different company or whatever, and you realize you lose everything that you had with them, including your precious domain. So it's like, there's got to be a better way than that model as well. So great point, Josh. So just kind of learning all the different models that are out there for chiropractic websites. So we had the words down. I started to figure out the best platform that I was using, and then just getting it for a price that works. And I think that's where I kind of just land. Like the chiropractic website guy who helps people with their messaging, they're getting ranked on Google and just looking good. Like you don't want to have a dated site, because the truth is, like, we all judge people by the clothes that they wear. Even we tell our kids not to, but we still do it all the time ourselves. I've never read a book that didn't have a great cover. I've never been to a website never done business with a company that had a lousy website. It's just, we're just shallow like that. So I want to help chiropractors with that. That's the lane that I stay in, Josh. And I think we've got a great solution. Let me just give one iteration. I mean, you and I have talked in the past. I was at the Forward Thinking event in St. Louis last year, and one of the key sponsors was old friends of mine. Ali and Trevor came, and they're representing Jane. And we went for dinner on the Friday night, and just was like, why are we not doing anything with websites? Like, you guys have all this information and we have a platform. Why don't we put those things together? And so
peanut butter and chocolate, baby. You got to go full Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah. So it just worked out that I have a smart friend who's a developer, and he was able to connect to their API. It's technical stuff, but they could get all the information from, if you're a Jane client, we can spin you up a website really quick. So just, again, making it simpler, easier, faster, and cheaper for chiropractors to have great websites. But it also opened up my eyes to a whole nother world of different professionals out there. So we're doing like speech pathologists now, and massage therapists, and stuff I never heard of, like Reiki and all that. Anyways, it's an interesting world out there in the clinic sites.
I love that fact, because like the integration too, we've all gone through that thing. I mean, post-COVID, how many offices changed their hours? So if you update the hours you're available in your schedule on Jane, you would want it to be reflected on the website, and vice versa, and I think you solving that simple problem of, hey, this information will serve both sites or both services is one more thing you don't have to worry about as you're treating patients and trying to make a living doing chiropractic care.
Yeah, like if you had old Uncle Ernie or something as your massage therapist, which we mentioned before on our podcast together that we did. If he's not working for you anymore for whatever reason, Uncle Ernie is no longer with you. You don't want him on your website. And if you don't have control of your website, that's a big problem. But it's easy to get him off Jane. So wouldn't it be nice if you get him off your Jane account and then it automatically comes off your website? That's the kind of solution that Clinic Sites is offering now.
So just to be clear, John's newish company is Clinic Sites, and the core of it is this integration between Jane, if you have that as an EHR, and your website. Yeah.
So it's I still have the Get Clear family. I love them. They're my people, and yet this offering to a bigger community, the larger clinic owner community that Jane serves, we're offering a service to them. So it's the same price for people. So it doesn't really matter. People can choose either one, but I think if you have ambitions to grow, multidisciplinary, multi-practitioner, then Clinic Sites is a great option for you, because it just it syncs with your Jane account, basically.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me kind of tell everybody the plan for today. We have 3 varied websites, and in all honesty, you've already worked with Cameron before, right? So that one is pretty close. Now, what I want people to understand is a website serves many purposes. It's where people get information. It's where they can learn about you. They can find your phone number. They can contact you. But it's also where they get a perception of the type of care that you provide, and if what they have will be solved by you. So if it doesn't reflect that they think that you can solve their problem, you're probably not going to get that person to call in, right? Or schedule online or whatever it is. So we are going to go ahead and talk about these different websites. The way I think we should do this, John, is we should start with Cameron's, because it's in the format that you suggest, so we can kind of get that in, and we can make some small polishes, right? And then we'll move to either one of the Kevins, whoever wants to go first. and kind of make some bigger changes, and maybe even like, hey, let's think about format changes and whatnot. And then I think we can finish with McGarry's site because he's got, well, I don't know. Kevin Noel said he's got thick skin, so we could just absolutely hammer him too.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you want to do it, but I don't want too many tears to be shed at the end of this, you know?
You can hammer us too. It's all good.
Yeah. So what do you say we start with Cameron's? We'll do a little analysis, and Cameron, you can tell us what, you know, feedback you've gotten about it. Jon, you can talk about the positioning. Yeah. And then what I'd also love is maybe just 1 minute from the other providers to say, like, here's what I've learned, or here's what I realize I'm not doing, so that there can be some reflection of learning lessons too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Josh, before we get into this, I just want to say that I don't get credit for this one. This was all Cameron. There was a day when I could have gotten credit for Cameron's, was if when, like in the old days when I was charging more for working with me, and Cameron and I talked and he was really interested in it, but then we did this thing called the Summer Challenge where we basically gave people the website for free. We'll give you all the tools, the training, everything, but you got to build it. And Cameron was one of our alumni of the Summer Challenge. And so he built this himself. So I'm pretty proud of Cameron. I've been singing his praises and the other ones that did the Summer Challenge. In fact, it changed my model of what I believe chiropractors can do. So Cameron, this is all you, man. And why don't you lead us through what was going on in your head as you were putting this all together?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But if I don't give credit to my girlfriend and partner, Sarah Sullivan, then I'm going to get killed tonight. Yeah. So
you're sleeping on the
thanks, Sarah. Once you see this, you know, you did, basically we split that up. I did a lot of the content and like what to put, and, you know, she made it look pretty. It's I'm not the best at making things look pretty or organization, but we both have worked pretty hard on this. But yeah, I mean, with this, we spent a lot of time on it. You know, we'd get home from our part-time stuff and just put to it. And we've gotten so many compliments from people that know nothing about chiropractors and how great it looks. And obviously the platform is really the only reason why, but, you know, we just, like I said, made it look pretty. So.
And what I'm seeing here, Jon and Cameron, is you're going after active adults who definitely work out. So the pictures aren't making them think you're not interested in people who don't go to gyms.
Right.
You see a guy with a squat, you see a class of people doing kettlebell swings. So you're attracting that more active audience.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you're not going to attract, just by the pictures alone, there are other groups. So let's say like prenatal, postnatal moms, right? Like your website's not speaking to that. So since you are new, the patients that have come in from your website, what is their makeup? What's the avatar you're attracting?
Well, so myself, I'm out of a sports performance facility, and then Sarah is out of a powerlifting gym. Okay. In regards to that, mostly the powerlifting gym is people ages from 25 to 35 who are powerlifters or Olympic weightlifters. And then myself, I actually treat anywhere from 15 to it's around mid-20s, late or early 30s. There's a lot of minor league and college and high school baseball players in there.
Okay.
So, and then starting in January, that's when I start the NFL Combine training camp. So,
you're not getting anybody really over the age of 50, sounds like.
No, absolutely not. Okay. And the area I'm in, just to let everybody know, is a very bad area of Tampa. But because we just tailor to athletes, we really don't do any marketing to general population because it's all, there's very bad. Let's just leave it at that. It's a bad area.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jon, Cameron's tough. He's got a strong chin.
Yeah.
You can pat him on the back all you want, but I think, Cameron, would you mind if we dive into some improvements maybe that Jon can identify?
Absolutely. Of course. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah. I actually did a complimentary story brand thing for some people, and Cameron was on that call. So there's probably a lot of stuff that he's already fixed that was that he picked up from that session. So it's, again, doubly not fair. So a couple of things that I'll just say that he's done well. One, you talked about the avatar. So you have active people that are young. They're not super athletes or whatever. They're just people that want to stay healthy and active. And so that's very clear. They're obviously injured or something's going on. So they're not being able to do what they love. And, people that are out of the CrossFit community, they just feel like a part of them is missing, right? So that's a great line about get back to doing what you love. This is the headline that we talk about. So if Cameron's website is a newspaper, this is going to be the first thing, the headline that they're going to see with the picture. We process pictures faster than we do words, but this is very clear that people are injured. He wants to get them back into it. This line here we teach is all about clarity. So we want to make sure people know what you're doing. So there's a lot of different services that could get people back to doing what they love. Yeah, I could give examples, but I won't. But chiropractic care and sports recovery is what he does to do that, right? So that's like, if there was any question about what he does to get back people doing what they love, now they know what it is, and now they know what he wants them to do. This button here is what's going to make him all the money. So we want to show this button as much as possible. It's like a checkout. But if you go to like a Target or somewhere, Walmart, and you've got a bunch of stuff and you want to leave, but you're like, where's the checkout here? And it's like, well, you got to go up the escalator, down the hall, past the broom closet, take a right, then a left. And then there's, the lady will take your items and you can pay. It's like, I don't want to do all that. Forget it. And they drop it and leave. That's a missed opportunity. People that are finally like, yes, I want to work with these guys. It speaks to me. You want to have a button close by. So that's one thing that is important. And you want to make it obvious, right? So notice the red is very clear. He's chosen the right color here. Yeah. And then we want to catch people's attention. That's why we have the problem that you're solving. And in fact, if you read copywriting teachers, trainers, they will all say like problems are what keep people interested. So it's only when you see a problem. In fact, like my kids will be watching Paw Patrol and I'll walk in 3 minutes into it and I'm like, whoa, the mayor's cat is up the tree. What's going to happen? And all of a sudden I have to watch the entire 23 minutes because I need to know how the pups are going to save the neighbor's cat from the tree. And I didn't have any interest in the cat before. It's just I sell the problem and I need to know how it's solved. Sure. That's what it does when you talk about the problem that people are experiencing. If you can articulate people's problems clearly, then you will earn trust with them more quickly. So that's what we're doing here. And then we want to solve the problem by talking about the benefits. So just very simple things here. Cameron, if you ever want to upgrade this, by the way, one of the things you can do is you can change the icons here, but I just want to show you that you can make what's called image links. Sorry, your site is actually live, so anybody can see this. But you can put in custom designed icons in this here, and let me just see if I can find one. Something like this. So you can put in, this is just a way to upgrade your site if you ever want to, but you'll see that it looks just a little different than something like this. So it's just a bit of an upgrade. I'll delete this for you so that it's not there. But it costs about $30 on Fiverr, and you could have 3 beautiful icons when you want to level up this part. Okay, just a thing.
Awesome.
All right, here's where we want to start talking about how we're going to solve the problem. And so he's talking about guiding. I might actually change this to a picture of you and Sarah. You guys are both nice looking people. And this is where I want to introduce you guys as the guides, especially if you're going to talk about how you're going to guide them. We want to get personal by this point. This is a lot of theory, like how we're going to solve your problem. Notice if anyone else, hasn't worked through this material before, but we're talking here about the benefits. So a lot of times we as humans gravitate towards talking about the features that we offer, but we want to actually get in the head and heart of the ideal patient and talk about the benefits of what we can do for them. So these are things that would be very appealing to somebody working with a chiropractor. So that's that part. But here I actually want to be personal. I want you to have a picture of yourself so that people will be like, oh, I have a connection now with these guys. And that's what this text is all for. This text is all about creating that emotional connection where you actually show in the first part that you understand how frustrating it is. Look at that. There it is right there. I just didn't even see that. And then next you want to talk about some of the authority that you have. So here's some authority that Cameron has. And the one thing actually that I might add in here, right in this section here, is to add a text media block, which would be all about, I don't want the picture, I want the just text. I just put a testimonial. Okay, and what you're going to do for the testimonial, this would be for anybody, is I used to struggle with terrible back pain. And then the solution here. Now, after 3 treatments, it's gone. Okay, then you put their name, and place, or Google review. You can take it straight from your Google review. That'll give you even more clout. You're going to save it, and then you're going to have this nice block here. And then let's just change the color for a little bit, make it dynamic. So anyways, this just stands out. I would put a second one there, but really big problem that they had, and then the solution, and that's testimonial 101. Put those right in here. Now that you'll have a body of work of people that have helped you. And what you're going to, then they're going to see that, wow, this person is in the business of solving people with my problem. Because if I had back pain and I read about somebody who had back pain and they don't have back pain, that's very enticing to me. All of a sudden, you're going to grow in authority points in my mind. And then, of course, we have the 1, 2, 3. This is just how we're going to get you there. A lot of people tell you that they're going to get you, help you achieve your goals, but they don't always show you how you're going to do it. This is why we do this here. So I can see that my process with Cameron is to schedule an appointment. Then they create a plan, and then I get back to doing what I love. Okay, I can kind of see that. You didn't just tell me I'm going to do what I love. Now I'm understanding that there's stuff involved here that's going to help me get there. All right, and then this is like they're at the bottom of the page now. It's almost done. You need to warn me that if I keep scrolling, I'm going to miss my opportunity. So I don't want pain to control my life. This is the equivalent of a doctor saying, or sorry, a dentist saying, you better floss, or a doctor saying, you better lose 20 pounds or you're going to get at risk of a heart attack or diabetes or something like that. So this is my chance to schedule an appointment. Finally, we have a row of blogs here. What does a blog do? It answers a question, like it solves a problem, and it builds authority. So I want to know that my chiropractor is the best in town. And the way I'm going to know that is by some of the stuff that he or she writes. And it's going to help me affirm the idea that he or she can answer the questions that I'm asking and do it in an excellent way. So you want your blog to look good, to be formatted well. It can't be ugly. And so, and also another thing that blogs are good for, as we know, is SEO. So you want to have keywords in there. So a lot of stuff about chiropractor in Tampa or Pinellas Park. Is that how I say it?
Pinellas. Yeah.
Okay, Pinellas. Okay. I tried to make it with my my Spanish accent.
It was so close. It was close.
So close. Okay. So any thoughts or questions from anyone else? That's my take on this on this homepage. You can kind of see out as I'm talking the framework that we use, but do feel free to criticize because it's more than welcome.
Yeah, I have something. Cameron, just out of curiosity, does anything stick out on this page, like positive or negative?
I mean, I think the logo could look a little better. It just looks kind of tiny.
That tiny. Definitely drives me batty because a couple reasons. The text is so small that I can't even read the spine chiropractic. I can read strength against the background, but the strength and spine chiropractic is definitely tougher. And then there's, I still don't know. Oh, okay. It's building a resilient community. And I'm on my desktop right now. If I was on my phone, I'm going to guess that that's even harder to see.
Yeah.
And I think, we get logos. I see what you're doing here. You're trying to tie in the spine and the kettlebell.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's coming through, again, because of the size of the spine that has to be shrunk down.
Right.
So if it were me, what I would do is I would get a version of the logo from like Fiverr or whatever, where it's strength and spine is one line and underneath that is chiropractic, and ditch the tagline for this purpose. Yeah. The tagline's great in the future, but let's ditch it for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And we got to work on some clarity of that kettlebell spine idea. Now, here's what I do love. Number one, this hero shot, the main picture on this website, when you're saying get back to doing what you love, this woman that is right behind that is, I don't think you could have nailed this image any better. She truly looks like she's enjoying what she's doing. She's not trying to struggle putting 600 pounds over her head. She looks like she's having fun. She's enjoying it. And I bet those people that come to your website identify with that and go, that's what I want to get back to. That's why I'm contacting this person. John, can you scroll down to the almost last section?
Yep.
The other thing that I really like that you did a great job of continuity, scroll up just until the schedule an appointment is the bottom thing on the screen here, John. Let me see if I can pass it. Perfect. If we look at step 1, you said schedule an appointment, which exactly is the text on your button.
Right.
So it is like, this is the 1, 2, 3 plan. What do I do? 1, I'm glad you didn't say meet with one of our talented physicians or get assessed. Your language, schedule an appointment, is exactly the language on that button. I know it seems so small, but sometimes in marketing, we are saying things that our people don't understand how to move forward on. Mm-hmm. And you nailed it here, dude. Schedule appointment is on the button, and it's that text right there. It's bang. You know, they just match up perfectly. So I really like that.
Yeah. I don't know if these are going to matter to people, but I think they look cool. I just think it's nice to know. I don't know any of these things, but my chiropractor is involved in stuff. You know, he's a specialist in these things. So
one more thing, Jon.
Is that important? Should we put it on? But I think at the end of the day, a badge is a badge. It looks cool. So
can you go to the About page and pull up either one of them?
I can.
And choose Cameron, because his girlfriend seems like a nice person. We don't want to talk poorly about her.
Right.
So in this shot, I think, you know, you're got your flex on, you're looking good. It's a black shirt. I think that this picture might need to be swapped out.
I had no idea that was there, if that's fair.
Okay. So Sarah's just like randomly putting pictures for you?
Yes.
Yeah. But even pull up hers, Jon. And
yes.
When you are in pain, what kind of person? Now, do you see that she's smiling?
Yeah.
She looks attentive, and it's a little bit different of a feel with your picture.
Yeah.
But here's what's 2 suggestions I would make on these pictures. Number 1, I learned this in a public presentation class. If you believe in something, you need to face it. So you want to have her facing the text. So you just want to flip her over, because it looks like she's turning her back on the information that's being provided.
Oh, wow. Sorry,
so it's a subtle thing.
While you're talking, I'm just making some other changes here too.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Yeah, that's great. That's good. That's a good point.
So I would just have you facing that. And then I think, Cameron, just along with the public speaking, Sarah has a lighter skin tone than you. And so she can barely pull off this black shirt on a dark background. I think if you have a red shirt, you have a white shirt with red tint or something. Can you go to his picture there?
Yeah, wait, I just thought of an idea, Josh. I can fix his problems like this. We're gonna put the text on the other side. There we go. Cameron, problem solved.
Does that look better? Like she's staring at the information?
Yeah, let's go to that. Does that look better, guys? Yes?
Yeah. She's looking at it. It's gotta be good.
I never would have thought of that, Josh. That's brilliant.
Look at your effect. You're angry about the fact that you have to have this information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that's on me for not double checking to make sure.
The other thing too that I'm just doing is I'm just making stuff like this is again a copywriting thing, but I really want to highlight some stuff, and it just breaks up the text a little. Oops, what was that? Mm-hmm. I want to break up the text a little bit so that it's just easier to read. So everything is easier in point form, and then when you have stuff bolded or whatever, it makes it just quite stand out a bit. So let's.
You know what I call this, Jon? I call this ABC 1, 2, 3. Have you ever picked up that soap, Dr. Bronner's Magical Soap or whatever?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that soap? It just has all these crazy writings on the label and just goes on and on. It's like, dude, you need to break this up. Put some in bold, italicize some, put some commas.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
This is better. I like this headline. Always got to do the headlines, because if you think about how a newspaper, again, is that there's a headline and then there's a subheadline and then there's the text. And the subheadline, you only read it if the headline wins you. And then you only read the text if the subheadline even draws you in more. So that's how people read stuff. It's headline, subheadline, and then the text. So anyways, that's just a copywriting principle.
One thing, scroll down to his picture again, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah.
Cameron, yeah. Do you see how it's blacking out? Like we can't even see your abdomen, your waist, or your pants. They're all totally blacked out because of the darkness of the background.
Yeah.
You might need to shove some more light in this, but what color is the skin on your face? Do you see that it's picking up a green color?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what's weird is now that you're in this image on Zoom, you don't look like green at all, right? And I think the loss of the cleaning up some of the facial hair might be doing that. So anyways, I would just work on this picture and see if you can get a brighter, more welcoming picture in there.
Got it. Absolutely. Definitely have ones of me smiling.
Okay. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yes. Perfect.
All right, John. Well, just for the sake of time, now that we've only made a couple improvements to Cameron's, I think you just did about $700 worth of consulting.
And told me I'm ugly.
And he typed it out. Yeah.
That's funny. Should we go to the should we do Lever Edge or Synaptics?
Let's see. Can you stop sharing real quick? Let's let's just double check. Kevin McGarry, can you stay on for a while, or do you got to go at the top of the hour?
So I can stay on for a little bit. I think Rye has a client soon. Rye, what time is that client?
I got like a few more minutes.
Okay.
You mind if we jump into that one, Kevin Noel?
Yeah, why don't we do that one?
We'll finish up with you guys.
Doesn't matter to us.
All right.
Okay, which one is that?
That is Synaptics.
Okay, we're going to Synaptics.
Yeah. Get some tissues, boys. Just kidding. Just
we can
kidding.
take it.
All right. Again, I see that the patient, the ideal patient, is active. That's very clear right off the bat. I don't even need to see a face, and I already know this is definitely going after athletes, especially this. This is what I saw first, was this line here, just in case you guys are wondering where people are looking, and then I see your calls to action there. So that's my first impression.
All right.
Yeah, so I love the first couple of things. The design is not off-putting. There's a lot of people that would have off-putting design, which means it just looks old, and I think this looks very clean, and, it's well spaced out, so nothing's too bunched up and stuff. And I know that you have 2 calls to action here. So again, that's just what I see here. Chicagoland, this is where it's from. You guys are working on, this is for clarity. Logo probably doesn't need to be as big, but let's keep the positive stuff going first. Here's
Nice
an example. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Nice guy John.
Sorry?
I said you're being nice guy John.
I know. Well, I start off, let's be nice. So Here's an example of what we talked about putting the features rather than the benefits. I like this, that you talk about the 4 things that you do, because I think that needs to be said. However, I don't think it needs to be said yet. There's 2 things that you'll remember that we encourage people to put is a block about the problem that exists in the world that you're solving. That's just to create interest. Okay, so what is the problem? Why do people need personal training, strength and conditioning, and physical help all in one? You guys are solving a very clear problem. Josh and I bat that idea around on our last podcast together, so I'd encourage you to listen to that and then articulate your own point, because right between these 2 things, I want to know why I need fitness, healthcare, performance, and nutrition. And even before that, I would like to know, or I guess after the problem and then before this part, I would like to what's the benefits of working with you?
Yeah, can you scroll up a little bit, John? I want to say this just in a way that maybe isn't as nice as John's putting it. He's being kind to you guys. This is all about you. This is all about Synaptics, but there's nothing here on this entire page that is about solving the problem of your patient. There's nothing about them. And in a sales situation or marketing, you always want to talk about them and then what you can do for them. And you guys have flipped the relationship here. It's here's why we're cool, and here's how you can join us to be cool like us. Yeah. Do you get how it has that feel?
For sure.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about that a little bit, and we tried to make the Chiro side a little bit more inviting, but that was kind of the knock on the website that we had talked about, was like, we think it's awesome, but the average person walking up to it is like, ooh, maybe that's not exactly what I need. You know
right. And so what I think John is saying is, what here, as you look at this, Kevin, is there anything attracting your specific market to you guys? You're informing them, but textbooks inform, but textbooks don't sell, right? You only buy a textbook when you're forced to in a class, right? Mm-hmm. So there
is a little bit here, Josh, about I might actually put this line higher in bolder, because fitness and performance training created by experts to get you lasting results. So here's the lasting results. Here's the, how you're going to do it. And then, here's the guide. You're talking about yourself, created by experts to get you the lasting results. So this line solves the problem. Tell me what that problem is what Josh and I are saying, because that's what's going to get things interesting.
I guess
Yeah.
I was gonna say, sorry. I guess our biggest obstacle that we've like constantly have been like battling with is it's essentially two different companies, and so we've tried to like figure out the best way to like, because technically like our demographics for one company are going to be different than our demographics for the other company. So like how to convey that without like making them too separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And here's what you're going to do when this is the challenge of the clinic gym hybrid is, what is the role of chiropractic in all this? Because chiropractic is what, you went to school for. It's what you are an expert in. And it's what you probably want to compete with when it comes to Google in your town, right? Or city. You want to show up when people are searching for a chiropractor. And so you need to have that somewhere on the homepage as well. I'm just guessing. I think you guys are chiropractors at some point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know that. Like physical medicine, if I'm in the member of the public, I'm thinking this is what you mean by chiropractic. But if you're not going to have it there, at least put it in here, because people need to know you guys are chiropractors. Maybe there's some baggage attached to that word or whatever, but that's just how the public will go after it.
So when we set up the website, so we created the training company first. So that's why our homepage is more training focused. Yep. But we have like a separate homepage that like all of our chiropractic stuff is directed to. So if you go to the services and then go to physical medicine.
Yeah.
That's our like chiropractic homepage. So like if someone clicks on a Google ad or something, like this is our chiro homepage.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. You're running Google ads to it, because people would never find this on organic search, because you need to see where I'm highlighting here, physical medicine. That word needs to be chiropractic, and you need to have more than just this. Chiropractor has to be your H1 tag in here. If you built the site, you know what that means. If you never built the site, you wouldn't know. And if anyone listening, it's just their main. It's like if a website is like a book, your H1 tag is your chapter heading, and Google will read that chapter heading because it wants to know what's this page all about. People think, well, if someone's searching for chiropractor, I want to give them a chapter. I want to point them to the chapter heading that's called chiropractic. That's what Google's looking for. So just think about that, because this page will not organically rank well, especially with physical medicine here.
That's okay. They don't have kids on the way or anything, John, so they don't need to make a lot of money. Can you go
I
back
want them to make money. I do. I really do. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Ryan. Did you want to add some more? I can tell you're about to leave us. So, anything else? Nope. Okay. Should we just continue on in our evaluation here?
Because I just want to say something real quick.
Sure.
About their site. The problem is when you guys.
Hey, what's up? Good.
Let me see. I'm going to mute him.
Yeah, maybe mute him.
Although we could hear him talk to these ladies and see if he's any good. But seriously, what I see here, when you say physical medicine and you use a vague term that the public doesn't know what that means, is that it kind of feels like you're trying to mislead them, or you guys are posers about this thing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm sensitive to personal trainers like doing healthcare, that drives me nuts. But that I don't see any license. Even if you said, and physical medicine by licensed providers or something like that, to say like, we're not just upgrading the foam roller and using a hyper ice, like we know what the hell we're doing. Yeah. And I think that it just doesn't send the message like that you guys are experts. And that's what I think you're really building this whole company around is, hey, we're experts at both sides of the house and the integration of that care.
Yeah. We use the real Hypervolt name brand, not the cheap one you get on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, you could actually put that here. Licensed or certified. What did you say, Josh? The word?
Experts.
Licensed healthcare providers or something.
Yeah, licensed healthcare providers would be great. Or chiropractors even, I think who are also personal trainers. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think Ryan kind of touched on this, but we initially made this site. We were sitting in class when we made it, but we made it for the training, and then we kind of added on the chiro side. So I think it kind of shows that. Like I agree, Josh. I think looking at it right there, you don't get the sense that, oh, they're chiropractors, they're doctors, they're experts, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, what we need to work on is just having.
And you guys are welcome to strip that part of it off if you just want to be the best gym in Chicagoland, I'm fine with that. But
Yeah.
either commit to one side or the other. Either we are experts and we'll show that with our licenses, or don't worry about that. We're just a training gym.
Mm-hmm. And one of the solutions to get around this problem is to have two websites, one for the gym, one for chiropractic. And the chiropractic one is just very clear. Like, they link to each other, so they talk to each other, and that's all great. So they work together. Yeah. However, one is very clear in its message and its domain, and it's, everything is, we're going after the chiropractic. If somebody needs a chiropractor, we want them to come to us. Mm-hmm. Second one is, if somebody needs a gym, then we're a different kind of gym. We're not just like a, classic cookie cutter $16 a month gym. We're actually like, this is a high performance, licensed healthcare providers. Like, that's what you do for the gym so well. So that's one solution to get around this problem, is just to be a chiropractic office and nail those keywords and that specific, get out of pain, get back to doing the things you love, kind of like we saw with Cameron's, and then have a website for your gym. So it's our way. I realize it's twice as expensive, but if you want a solution, that's one that you could have, start today.
Yeah. We had considered that. We just tried to get it to the point where, even if someone was, say they were looking for a trainer and they see that we offer healthcare, that would kind of bump us up as compared to the next trainer. Or even if someone was looking for a chiropractor and they saw that we did training, they can kind of see, okay, we're a little bit different than the average chiropractor, kind of putting them together. But no, I totally see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just going to throw a couple things out here. So I like the scrolling aspect of it. That's really good. This is a Instagram feed or whatever?
That's a blog.
It's a blog. Okay, so maybe just give me a headline here. Yeah. If it's a drag and drop builder, just grab a headline and put it in here and just say, read the latest from our blog. Because I honestly didn't know what it was. Same with videos. This is just a common thing. If you have a video, don't just throw a video out there assuming that I'm just going to click on it because I have extra time to kill and I want to click on a video. You got to sell the video. Watch this video by Dr. So-and-so. He teaches about how to, or even the opposite, actually. Ever wonder how to get, swing a kettlebell properly? Watch this video from, Dr. Ryan on how to do it properly. So you always got to sell everything on your site, because people don't just come to a website with time to kill, right? They're looking for, why is this person my guide to get what I need? All right. I would put something about introducing you guys in here. I don't have any names in here. Okay. So I know this is the section where it's talking about you. You want to win them over, but tell me who this is, why this is important. If it is somebody, if this is a significant picture. Is this you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. You look a little more grimace there than you do now, so I had to make that connection. So yeah, tell me about you here, right? Like, this is exciting stuff that you're lifting a hell of a lot of weight there. So why is that important, and why does that help you do what you do every day? Mm-hmm. And then after that, because we're in the process of introducing you guys as the guides, between these two blocks, I want to see some, like I said, for Cameron, show me 2 testimonials of somebody who had the problem solved, like the problem that we talked about that you're putting in here. Mm-hmm. Put it in here about 2 stories of real transformation. And I think that's going to build your authority some more as people who solve this problem.
Gotcha.
So anyways, you got your,
what strikes you, Kevin?
Well, just scrolling through this, I didn't realize. So if you scroll up a little bit, John, kind of that block between the picture of me lifting and then the picture of the girl flipping the target, I didn't realize that was so like such a hard cutoff there. So putting a kind of a, I don't know what you call it, like a heading there.
A headline,
Yeah, headline would look way better. I definitely agree with that. And honestly, I mean, this is stuff we've kind of talked about before, but just making it a little bit more story brandy. So kind of like, I really like Cameron's site, because it said like, all these people find themselves in this with the same issues, back pain, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And ours doesn't really sell that or tell that story. I think Josh was right. It's kind of just like, this is what we do. We're assuming how good and cool we are, but doing more to sell it and kind of lure them in with, hey, there's other people like you that we see all the time. Get started today with one of these things.
Yeah, talking about problems makes your site interesting, just like any story.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like if you told me like, John, how was your day? And I said, well, I woke up, to my alarm and had breakfast, got the kids ready, sent them off to school, and then I answered some emails, and then I had a Facebook Live eventually in the afternoon, and then it was my stomach was getting rumbly, so I made a snack, and then I got a coffee, and then it was about dinner time. That's like on and on and on and on. There's nothing, and I said, you said, how was your day? I was like, well, you never believe it. I actually overslept my alarm by 10 minutes. I have my morning routine so down packed that 10 minutes lost is gone. So I started the day feeling behind. And then I woke up to a sick kid who was barfing all over my shirt that I had freshly pressed for the day. Cause it was it's like this day is all of a sudden exciting. Before I just gave you a laundry list of what I did. And then I started talking about problems, and it became super exciting. You're like, how did you solve this problem? Did you ever make up for that 10 minutes? What did you do with the freshly pressed shirt that now has puke all over it? And on it goes. So we are, as human beings, we are conditioned to be attracted to problems, and we want to hear solutions to them. It's called a story loop that is opened up when we talk about a problem, and we cannot rest until we find out how that story is resolved. And the best sitcoms, on Netflix and Amazon Prime, they all get you with that, right? We have to watch to the end of the season because we need to know how there's resolution in this. And if we don't watch it and we don't find out, it nags at us. So talk about the problem that you're solving on your website because it makes your business interesting to people.
Hey, are you looking for the best exercise equipment available? Well, I think that you got to check out Perform Better. PerformBetter.com is a huge supporter of everything that is the Clinic Gym Hybrid. They are actually one of the biggest supporters of the FMS and the SFMA program, and I can't say enough great things about their 3-day summit. So if you're interested in some education, every summer they do their 3-day summits in Orlando, Chicago, Providence, and Long Beach. Long Beach is my favorite. That's where I go. But the speakers there will absolutely blow your mind. So check out PerformBetter.com, whether you need bands, mini bands, equipment, flooring, or their 3D design capabilities. I think it's fantastic stuff. So check out PerformBetter.com. It's short notice, but can you think of the main problem you keep hearing from your most satisfied clients that you solved for them?
I think it's more so, it's not like, obviously if it's an ankle injury, it's okay. I can run, I can jump, things like that better. But it's more so like I can get everything I need healthcare wise, all from you guys. So we had people that were going to a chiro, going to PT, getting massage and doing a personal trainer. And they're like, you can kind of just come to you guys now and you guys can take care of all that in one visit, under one roof. So that's probably the most common thing we hear. So
the problem you solve in some regard has nothing to do with strength conditioning, physical medicine. It's inconvenience.
Partially, yeah.
Time. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And yet there's no talk of that in here, right? So I identify that problem a lot. Gotcha. John, you have any more feedback for him, or you want to move on to the other?
We could talk all day. I'd love to see some of the content in here. I'm sure there's so much great stuff, that he's done to build authority. I think that's so much of what happens. Let's just take a look quickly at the.
I've actually got a quick question for you, John, real quick. So you're clicking through that like fitness library and educational resources.
Yeah.
We spent a whole boatload of time when we were learning OBGYN stuff, basically putting this together. Do you think this is worthwhile having on the website, like putting out all this free information? Because basically what our idea was at some point we might put this all together and then be able to sell a monthly kind of thing, or sell a service where it's like, okay, here's our training and we have all of our stuff there.
Yeah.
Is it worth putting all on the website? Or
here's what I would do. You've done a lot of work by putting these together.
Mm-hmm.
I would refer you to the great our friend of the show, Kevin Christie. What he's done is he had all this content that he had been creating over the years, and it's maybe ergonomic stuff or stuff for runners. And he basically put it up together in a course, and it's just organized, not based on stretches, based around pain points. So he has a back pain. We could just go to his.
And that's essentially what kind of we wanted to do at some point is just have sellable content for back pain, neck pain, ankles, hips, whatever it is. And then we just have our kind of package that we give or sell like a monthly subscription type thing.
Yeah. So if I have neck pain or low back pain, okay, so let's just try the low back pain one. This is just for people that are having a hard time with their back, right? And he's got different things, and he's got all the same stuff that you've got, but it's packaged differently, Kevin. It's packaged in a way to say, I'm going to solve this particular problem. So if you have that particular problem, or if you're a runner, you have specific problems to that, right? So he's got these free online courses that you give your email and then you get dripped every single day, and then you get the next module. And you've already done the work. You have all the stretches. Now all you got to do is say, okay, let's say if it's a neck pain person, here's the 5 stretches that I would give them. And then I might do an overview on the first day, and then I'd give them 3 stretches the second day, and then I'll give them 2 exercises, and then I'm going to give them a blog or a video, or maybe I'll give them a blog and a stretch, or something that just packages it in a way that's a course, right?
Sure.
Here's the one thing that I think, I'm just going to stop sharing here because I want to speak to people. You have an opportunity. Here's what I love about the evidence-based community. You guys spend a whack of time, way more time than the other camp, we'll just say, with people, spending time with people. I know you love doing it, but it's costing you time and money. Instead of taking the extra 15 minutes to love that person, which you do so well, why not educate them online? So you're still using the energy. They're still learning from you, but now it's on a course. So you could say, hey, I've just spent extra time with you, but if you're really interested in learning about how to solve this back pain on your own, we actually have a $50 course, which is going to be less than a session. So you could do 5 sessions with me, and I'll teach you all the same stuff, or for the cost of 1 session, you could do this. And then they take it and they love it and they want to come back, of course, but then they want to sell it to their friend who's in a different state. It's like, my back was a mess. I did these courses and I took this here. You got it. It's only $50, right? And now your website has become a machine. And that time that you used to spend face-to-face with people is now, you're still using that expertise. They're still getting the same result, right? They're still getting freedom from their back pain. They're being empowered. It's great patient-centered care, but you're using your website to sell it. And then, it's actually making even a stronger connection because they actually spent the last 5 weeks with you and they feel like they know you. They know your funny illustrations, your stories. You don't know them any better, but they know you better. So that's an even more of a connection. So, hey, there's a freebie for you guys. I'm really passionate about this because I love how every doc tells me, I just love educating. It's my favorite part. I want to do it more. And I'm saying, let's package that up and put it on a course because you could sell that. Go ahead, Josh.
I just want to bring up the fact, what John's saying at the core is you got to act like the guide and help them understand what to do when. Because if you're just trying to go, hey, we shot 100 videos, well, there is nothing you shot in those videos, I guarantee it, that you guys could not find on YouTube, right? So that means every one of our patients can go on YouTube. So what's the difference between YouTube that has literally 10,000 videos for what to do when I want to, bicep curls, right? And what's interesting in that and going to see Kevin McGarry. And the difference is Kevin can guide you through based upon what he knows in your goals.
Yeah.
They can't get a guide from YouTube. They can get information, but that organization and guide is not where the money is. Because if it was, we'd all be broke, unemployed because YouTube took over our jobs. And even as YouTube grows, there's still this desire to have guides and knowledgeable people to help us figure it out. And so like what Kevin Christie did was say, this is it just for low back pain. And if you looked, it wasn't like the stretches or the exercise to do. It was, let's start with the problem, talk about why that's an issue, here's how to solve it. And then the last 3 videos were specific exercises.
Mm-hmm. And even if it's not your videos, like just even somebody curating the content, right? You could take all those videos that are on YouTube and find a way to like get the least branded one. So like some people like heavily brand it and it's like, okay, I can't use this with my patients. But if it's a generic, I mean, if you're a Chiro Up client, they have tons of videos that you could use and put in on your course, right? It's like Brandon's totally happy with people using his videos for that very purpose. So he wants to educate the public with evidence-based content. So that's something that you could do without even having to do the filming. They do the filming for you. You just have to package it all up and say, this course solves this problem. Whether instead of like having just like generic videos and hoping that they're just like, I'm just going to scroll through them all. I got 5 hours today. Why not? Like, solve a problem and then sell it on your homepage. So that then I was going to say, Kevin, one of the best things you could probably do is put those stretches or whatever problem that those things are solving, put that at least on your homepage. So I know, because I'm not necessarily going to just go click on all your tabs and just explore, your website. So you'll notice that all that great content was there and I didn't even look. So we almost went to the next site before we even saw all that great stuff.
Mm-hmm. and we're not in pain, and we're not looking for somebody, you know, like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Should we go to the next? Should we go to letter H?
Kevin, Michigan Kevin, how long can we stay with you? Do you have another?
We got time. No.
Okay, good. All right.
Has it been helpful, guys? Even though we've been looking at other people's sites, have you guys picked up anything? Have you been changing your site as we've been going?
Yes.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Good.
McGarry, has this been good for you?
Yeah, it's been super helpful. It's kind of stuff that we had talked about, Josh, already, but it's good to hear it from other people and have people critique it. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a Canadian to look at your site, you know?
That's right. That's what we all need in our lives. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So first impression of this, very clear. You have your company here. So imagine if like New York Times, you picked up a copy of the New York Times and it just said New York Times right there on the main thing. You'd be like, maybe USA Today is more interesting, right? They're gonna sell the paper based on the headline. So you have this Own Your Health, but what my eye was drawn to was this. So I'm cool with you keeping your logo in the top left corner. We put so much attention to our logos, but it really doesn't matter. I've never chosen a company based on their logo, certainly alone or first, right? So you line up a different bunch of shoes based on what logo is there. It's like see the shoes. Anyways, bad example because shoes probably are the most branded. So can we just erase that part? Can we edit that out, Josh?
Absolutely.
Wasn't that good?
Don't worry.
Anyways, I would say, what is Own Your Health? I'm sure you're into the empowerment, giving people the tools, teaching them stuff, getting them freedom from pain so they can manage their own bodies. I'm sure that's part of what it is. So tell me about that, and tell me about it right here.
Yes.
Maybe even split up the screen in half and show somebody doing something, kind of like we saw with our kettlebell friends, right? Like, get some people on here because the first human that I'm drawn to is this guy's back and this guy's hips and knees.
They both look painful, by the way. An electrified spine and an inflamed hip and knees.
Just glowing. Yeah. Just glowing red. So
Kevin Noel, just out of curiosity, as soon as he pulled this up after talking about all the stuff, what hit you right away?
Yeah, like my website for sure. Like those two pictures, that John was talking about.
Yeah. And what is the mission of this company? Like what are they all about? We're going to have to navigate to figure that out.
Yeah. Sure. And I don't know if I was sold on owning my own health, I have no idea what I can do. Like, where should I go? I want to know, like, I want to put a big button right here so that I can make you guys more money. Like, Donald Milroy says this too. Like, I want to buy shares in your company and then I'm going to add a call to action and then I'm just going to cash in right away because you will see an uptick in your conversion rate based on the fact that you can have somewhere for people to click. In fact, I've scrolled to the bottom here already, and I have no idea where to click. I maybe go to contact, and I'll go here, but I don't know. Like, I don't even know. Do I call for an appointment or whatever?
What he does his patients pull up the map. They just drive to his office, walk in, and say, "I'm here for that appointment I never made."
Yeah, go to the map. That's good. Okay, another thing, just from a design perspective. By the way, I do like this font. I think it's great. It looks sharp and modern. From a design perspective, though, I'm not digging the ART logo. I know you guys pay a lot for this logo, over and over and over again, but I think that this doesn't match with these three. So, active release is important and it's a great service, but it does provide an outcome. And I would more rather hear about the outcome rather than the ART. Now, maybe you've had some patients come and say, I'll be your patient only if you have ART. So you want to feature it and do so, but don't do it. You don't have to do it right here. Like, this is literally the whole homepage. So a couple of things. We talked about the call to action. We talked about putting the logo in here. I want to see a person in there. I want to see a headline in there. And then I want to see the problem that you solve. And then show me a row of benefits. However you want to design them, you could put it in writing, you could put it in images, you could do icons, but just show me some benefits of what I get from working with you, and then introduce the different things that you do to solve it. So these are great solutions that you offer, but I don't want to get them yet. I want you to win me over. Let me say this
differently. If I owned an auto body shop, like what you've done here is you took pictures of like wrenches, and you took pictures of like air compressor, right? And you took pictures of like the hammers to straighten metal, but what is your concern when you want to hire me? Like, okay, you have the tools, it's obviously, but what I want to know is what's the problem you truly serve?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you went to an auto body shop and they just had pictures of like the stuff they use, it's like, that's great, but I just want to know, can you fix a Lexus or can you fix a Toyota? Like, I just want to know that you can do that.
Are you trustworthy too, right? Are you going to rip me off or whatever? Especially if, different demographics feel different ways. So like, are you personable? Like, am I going to like you? These are
so with this one, Jon Morrison, can we maybe work on that headline you want to put based on what you tell us about your patient? Like, imagine there was a book that said, start with who instead of start with why. Have you heard about a book like this, John?
It's coming. It's coming one day.
In Canada by a guy with a great suit on right now.
It's coming.
Anyways, John's whole point is start with who you want to go after, and then all this stuff will fall into line.
Right.
So as we're talking about that, Cameron was very clear in his website of who he was going after, right? Is he going after 65-year-old grandmothers who, I'm trying to think what they do, but that are into knitting and crochet? No, that would not fit with what his website did, right? If you are Cameron's patient, you have a weight in your hand multiple times a week, period, right? Like that's just how it goes. So when we talk about who is your perfect patient, Kevin?
Athletes and health conscious community members.
Okay, so peel that away for me. Health conscious community members, what does that mean?
Anyone that's interested in being active.
Active people, yeah.
Okay. And what do these active people do? How do you know they're active?
Just by the way they come in, I guess.
Okay. So like Cameron showed us, he wants active people, right? What did you say? Health-oriented community members, right? But he went for a specific group. What was more specific about Cameron's group? How are they demonstrating their consciousness about health? Were they running, cycling, playing tennis?
Yeah.
And then,
right. Lifting
they were
weights.
Weightlifter, right? I mean, they all had not weightlifters as a sport, but they lifted weights, right?
Right.
So if you think about your best clients, what would help them identify that they want to be, that they are health conscious?
Right. Like outdoor activities, I guess. That's like the big part of like our communities being like outdoors and like doing a lot of those types of things.
Perfect.
That's great to know. I'm glad that you can distinguish that too with your community, so that make sure you have a picture of outdoors. You know, if you're a huge running community, and make sure it's people running, right, outdoors. And so put those pieces together. Also, I would wonder how your site's performing because you don't have a ton of content, especially geocentric content on your website. And so you need to get the name of your area and chiropractor in there a few times just so that it starts flagging it for the keywords for Google, because I'm not even sure where you guys are. And I think that's important for people to make that connection as well while we're talking about the area.
Yeah.
The other thing too, sorry, I'll share the screen again. You guys were just
going back to like the idea of the headline, like Cameron said, getting you back to what you love. I think that's, Cameron, is that what yours says? Getting you back to what you love. Get back to doing what you love. Awesome.
Close.
Kevin, if yours is all about outdoor activities, you could say getting you back outside and active. Getting you back outside and active, or something like that, where you're incorporating those aspects of what people truly hire you for. And that could be your headline instead of lever edge chiropractic. Yeah.
A couple of things too, I think that I just want to highlight. See this area. This is called the junk drawer of the website. And it's important because it has stuff that's important for Google and for anyone that doesn't want to click around. So like if I wanted Cameron's phone number, his email address, his hours, here's the site map, here's some social icons and stuff. You can actually, by the way, all sites should have privacy policy, HIPAA compliance if that's important, and terms and conditions. Those are just 3 things that Google has been looking out for these days, and put those in your footer. Also a map as well, if you can do that. So sorry, Cameron, because you don't have that on yours, and I think we need to put that on. It's just sliding a slider on and putting the map on and all that, but for you guys, there's got to be wherever you built this. Is it in Google Sites?
Yep.
So yeah, there's got to be a footer setting where you can drag a footer into the bottom or have some sort of way to enable a footer. but it is going to be important because that's your junk drawer of all the other stuff, the important information that needs to get in there into your site. So be thinking about that. Footer is very important. Should we just look at around here? Oh, that's a great picture. Look at these outdoors. Now we've got some personality in the site. I needed this picture. I want to see people on this. And this just is it's very
go back real quick, because I think it was like that first sentence could be, you know, when you build a site and it says like lorem ipsum, blah, 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 like
yeah.
Dr. Kevin, can you go back to that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't know. I thought you wanted to go. Go ahead.
No, Dr. Kevin is a Yooper native from Escanaba. Like that may as well be lorem ipsum. It's all Greek to me, you know? What is a
Yooper? I've never heard of that.
People born and raised in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's what that is.
Is Yooper a place, or is Yooper an adjective?
Yooper is a noun. It's a person. So someone that's born and raised in the
proper noun. It's a person that's from the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah, proper noun. There you
go. John, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but having that quote unquote secret language on your website is awesome, because that helps you connect with that who person, because only the people who you want to help know what the hell a Yooper is.
Yeah. If you're going after Yoopers, this is the way to nail them. You put this on the homepage right here, you know?
Yeah.
No, but should Yooper, should this not be capitalized? Is that not the...
I don't know.
Probably should be.
If it's a proper noun, it probably should. Anyways, if it's a name or whatever. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah. This is, I just like that you had a dog too. Like there's some good personality here.
It's a great picture.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the people that you're going after. Like, I mean, obviously if they're in the Upper Peninsula, they know what snow's like. They know about wearing their down vest. Like it is capturing the person that you want to go after. But I think on the homepage and on the mission, we need to see them doing the things that they love.
Right.
You know, our perfect person doing the things that they love to do.
Right. One little pet peeve of mine is this is way too much text. You saw what we were doing with Cameron's site, breaking it up a little bit with things that are bold and all that. So this is good. I mean, this is a sentence that could be developed better. This is just a title or whatever, but you could say something like this might be even a better line or whatever, or something about you understanding people, like something that connects with people a little bit more. But way too much text here. I would break it up right here. I'd put a sentence break, right, a paragraph break there. And I would also put one right here, because you're talking about while not at work. So, and here you're talking about your credentials, your CE credits and stuff. So break this up with a new line, break this up with a new line, and it'll actually be easier for the eyes to breathe a little bit. That's just a design thing that I think we try to keep everything in one paragraph. It doesn't do anything for us, especially when it's on a screen. So everybody can go through the copy on their site and make that adjustment. I think it's pretty critical.
I know we've been going over an hour here. Kevin McGarry, Cameron, if you guys need to bail, just go ahead and bump off, and we're just going to finish up with Kevin Noel here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope this is useful for everybody.
Absolutely. Enjoy. Thank you.
Cameron, always good to see you. Okay, a pricing page people don't always have. Have you found that to be very helpful, Kevin? Because people at least know. Yeah,
I think a big part of being we come from like a really, really small community, and like transparency is really big around here. And that was a lot of feedback that we got. I got a lot of good feedback from that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're bold enough to put your pricing on because you can't hide it. I mean, people are going to figure it out one way or another. And if they're truly price conscious, they're going to call, they're doing something otherwise. But I think a lot of people ask about price just because they're asking for more information. And you just go like, here's all our prices, like come in or don't. And I bet there's a lot of people who are like, well, actually price isn't that big of a deal. I just want to know that, it wasn't going to be $600 or something.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you guys all cash?
We are cash. That's why and that's the other part or reason why we're so transparent, is because our fee schedule is pretty significantly reduced compared to other people. And it's because we're cash. So
That makes sense. We had thought about doing that, but
sorry.
No, you're good.
Do you use Jane as an EHR, Kevin?
I don't, but I'm actually really interested in Jane. That's actually who I was going to go with when I opened up, but I actually ended up doing some beta testing for another EHR that got their startup. So I'm basically utilizing their service for very, very cheap.
Did they give you a link or whatever? Because I don't see it anywhere on your site to book an appointment.
Yeah, and that, like, so what you guys are looking at right now is so far out of date. Like, my goal and my mission, even back when I got started, was so different than what it is now. This was kind of just like my first step in leveling up the website even altogether, because when I started, I think Josh, we talked yesterday or the other night about what me first getting starting, I was doing mostly independent contracting and corporate wellness, whereas now I have a brick and mortar location. So things are just so different now compared to like what you guys are seeing on the website. And to be honest with you, I just didn't know what the hell I was doing when I got started, like making that website. So as far as like adding links and other things like that, it's just, yeah.
John, do you have, I mean, I know that like Cameron got a bunch of clarity and a bunch of his parts and pieces and went through the checklist in the summer challenge.
Right.
And like, I want to support you and pimp clinic sites because I think it just eliminates problems. But in all seriousness, so you have this software as half of your business, let's say, and there's the other half where it's just, what picture should I say? What flow should I have? What, I need to put the benefit here in the,
yeah. So we have, we've made something here for basically for all of our clients that do this.
So you made a website about what you do for websites.
Yeah, Get Clear has the exact same. So if you're, I don't want to feel like, I don't want people to feel like if they're not with us, oh, never mind, it'll work. Sorry, I entered the wrong. I'll just go back to this. Live demos are never great when you're live. So let's, for instance, build out your homepage. We have a 15-minute video on how to build out
image that reflects that.
Build out your homepage, kind of like the stuff that we just talked about.
Right.
So that's one thing that we do. What else do we do? How to create a great first impression on your site. So we talk about how people read sites.
I mean, Kevin Noel is basically going to, I take this in the spirit of what you're saying. He's not really modifying anything. He's building from ground zero pretty much.
Right.
So may as well build, if you're going to spend the hours building it up, I think it might be useful to build it up in a method that we know works, we know sends the message, we know honors our patients, and we become the guide, rather than building something on your own and ended up not doing what you want and going back and being frustrated.
Yeah, my dream is to actually get into the chiropractic schools somehow, some way. I know that they're locked up pretty tight, but every single person, like Kevin, the Kevins, and everybody that I talk to all have the same problems. Like, nobody taught us this. And it's like, it's one of the main ways that people will decide if they want to work with you or not, is that your website. Dr. Christie was telling me the other day that he moved into a new area in Florida, and his neighbor comes in and, oh, you're a chiropractor, that's cool. And then the neighbor said, what's your website? And so the neighbor went and checked out his website and then came back and said, okay, I want to be your patient. But it's like, that's the power of a website. He got a new patient because of it. And it's like, why is that not like the second course? I mean, the first course at chiropractic school should be how to be a chiropractor. Second one should be how to make money as a chiropractor. And I think a website is part of that. So it's like, it drives me bonkers that nobody is teaching that. So if you guys have any connections, I'd be happy to do everything we just did here to more people, just purely to help them get great sites and just build. Here's how you build out a homepage.
Footlevelersites.com or something. You'd go right into every school.
I gotta sponsor the chapels or something, don't I?
Yeah, exactly. Because they buy a room at every campus.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. Let's wrap up. Big takeaways. So if everybody wants to go, I mean, John, I think we can share ours as well. But I think the big takeaway for me was to start out with that headline and then what is the problem? I heard John say that many times. What is the core problem? And I'm going to look at my website and say, do I discuss the problem or do I let them kind of draw that conclusion? And I want to just hit them between the eyes. Here's the problem that we solve. And if this problem is not yours, that's okay. You don't need to hire us. Because I don't ever want anybody to hire us for any of the offerings we have that is dissatisfied because they're like, it really wasn't that painful. I didn't really have back pain. So, you treating back pain really isn't a big deal to me. That was my big takeaway today, John. And I certainly appreciate the time.
Awesome.
McGarry, you want to go next?
I think you hit it on the head with that, because that's kind of exactly what I was going to say. Quick question for you though. Would you niche yourself off by saying, okay, I solved this one main problem, or just make that as broad as possible to apply to training, chiro, back pain, neck pain, whatever it happens to be? With that,
Yeah,
with the
you could
headline.
talk about, pain and injury, frustration because of pain and injury is quite popular, to be honest with you. Pain covers a lot of stuff. It covers almost the entire human condition.
But it's super expensive on Google too
That's right. Yeah, don't try to rank for pain or whatever. But anyway, I just think you got whatever it is. I mean, if you want to be the back pain guy, you'll get paid more money for back pain people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to be the pain guy, you just have to level it out a bit with the messaging. So you can be specific, and it will be powerful and brave if you do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, then that's totally cool. You could just water it down a little bit and just say we treat all kinds of pain, but still pain, whether it be in your back or in your hips or in your head or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
still, it does similar things to people. It frustrates them, it stresses them out, and it makes them anxious that they're never going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to hopelessness. It leads to fear of not being able to participate in the things I love. Those are huge parts of what you guys can solve. And so
it's funny. He just described the biopsychosocial model of healthcare, right?
There you go. I didn't even think
biopsychosocial model of marketing. It's the same exact thing as we're dealing with crazy people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
One thing I think, Kevin, to look at just as a little tip, John, and I always say is, I think there's 3 factors you really want to look at to think, do I want to niche down this? Number 1 is, do they love the care I provide? Because it always feels good when they love what you do and you can measure it. Hey, I lifted more, I hit the ball further, I was able to run farther, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, do they respect your schedule? Meaning they don't do last minute cancellations. We sell time. And once the plane is taken off, you can't sell that seat again, right?
Right.
If they miss their appointments or they're rescheduling constantly, that eats away at your profit more than anything else. So make sure they can make their appointments. Like I treated MMA fighters for a while, dude, because I'm in Vegas. Horrible. I would never bury my finger in their chest and say, hey, listen, you got to make your appointments, because they could all kick my ass. But they were horrible at making appointments, and it just totally screwed up my pay. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is, can they pay for the care that you provide?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got to be able to pay for it, or they got to have insurance that pays you well. So if there's a big insurer in your area, if they work for Morrison software company and Morrison pays you $85 per visit, and this other place pays you $40 a visit, go after the Morrison clients, And so I think look at those 3 things and then say, with that, do I want to go after this niche? So college age CrossFitters, I don't think would really respect your schedule, and I don't think they would really have the money to pay you, but they certainly would probably love the care you gave, right? Mm-hmm. And I think blending those things in to say, like, is this the right person to niche down on? I just interviewed a woman yesterday for my podcast she's in Toronto. Her name's Allie, so I think every blonde in Canada is named Allie now. She's smart. All she focuses on is postpartum women that want to get back to CrossFit. That's the core of her business. Now, that's a small niche,
Mm-hmm.
But she's doing really well. She loves it. They pay her well. They make their appointments. They respect her schedule. It's perfect. It's a perfect niche.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give that some thought of, like, who do you truly want to serve, but make sure it fits that criteria, because if they can't pay you or they can't make their appointments, it's not worth going after.
Got it.
Big takeaway, Kevin Noel.
Yeah, Josh, I piggyback off what you said, like with the homepage, like kind of telling that story, going through that was definitely valuable. And then, John, when you talked about the videos, like packaging videos by people's problems,
right.
I like that a lot, because that's something that Mike and I talk about doing in the future, is having like video series about, like things specifically. And that's a really good way to kind of, separate those things out when someone comes in with like a shoulder complaint versus like low back pain or something like that.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm sure you guys got to have a lot of snowbirds, right? A lot of people leave in the in the winter. So, you can follow them and help them out even when they go down to Palm Springs or Arizona or wherever the hell they're going for the winter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Definitely a good point.
Yeah. This is awesome. John, what was your big takeaway today by looking at all these 3 sites?
I love hanging out with chiropractors. I don't know what it is. It's, I never would have thought that would be the area that I get to talk to, but I live in a world of software and kids under 6. So this has been such a refreshing thing, because like I deal with either bugs, like viral bugs that are making noses snotty, or bugs on my own software, and we have to clean up. And this has just been a breath of fresh air. I just appreciate the humility and Josh, your leadership. You always give me little one-liners that I can always remember. One thing that never came up that I wanted to say is, Josh, you came aside in St. Louis to me and said, you know what you should tell people all the time is, if you're selling bait, you don't show a picture of the different types of bait that you do. You show a picture of a guy holding a big ass fish and say, that's what got it, right? And I think we didn't talk about that, is like, we're showing pictures of people with holding big fish that we help them catch. So that's the kind of stuff that I always get from you, Josh. And so I appreciate this community you've put together. And anytime you say, can you show up? I love doing it because it's fun for me to do it. So this hasn't been work at all.
Great. Well, we're honored to have you, man. And I think you provide us a lot of clarity on, I think we can provide clarity to our patients on diagnosis and treatment methods and whatnot, but certainly approaching these websites, I love it because I want chiropractors to be making a lot of money doing the work they love. And with a crappy website, that's pretty hard to do. So you're saving people, Jon. So I appreciate it. Well, that is all we got for today. My big takeaway, Jon, I'm going to hire you to help me fix my sites. So I'm just going to PayPal you the money right now, or however we transfer money across international borders,
just throw it over. We'll take your green money all the time up here, all the time. Yeah. To our peso.
Our dollar's worth like $1.50 of yours, right? Like,
it's okay. I found the right niche in working with Americans, let's just say.
There you go. Yeah. But seriously, if you want to reach out to Jon, where can people get a hold of you? I'm going to link to it in the comments of this on Facebook Live, but also where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, for Jane clients, go to Jon, Jon, at clinicsites.co. Anyone else can also reach me at jon@clinicsites.co, or jon@getclear.ca. They both will go to the same person. So
just one thing, both of his websites, getclear.ca as in Canada.
Yeah.
It's going to getclear.com doesn't work. I've tried it. And then jon@clinicsites.co, not .com. So
yes, that's right.
Be clear about that.
Yeah. I'm a little too late to the domain party where everybody took all the .coms, I guess.
Yeah. I just saw there's .vegas now. And
cute.
I don't know if there's .vancouver, but that'd be a long domain. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Cameron, Kevin, and Kevin, thank you so much for volunteering for your sites. Hope this is useful for everybody. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, go ahead and throw a comment up about what you learned, and hopefully we can all get better. Thanks, everybody.
And if they have questions, they can just respond on that, and I'll just jump in too, hopefully.
Oh yeah, Jon's active in the site, so he'll or in the group, so you can throw questions his way. All right, so that was our recording with Jon Morrison. Once again, it's getclear.ca. He's fantastic. I mean, I'm sure you heard all the tips that he brought forward there. It was absolutely amazing. And those guys really got a lot of value out of that workshop. With that, I always like to wrap up with this idea: go out there, maximize your license, and live the life you dream of. And I really want you guys to take that home. Getting your website set up and getting clear about that is one way to do that. But really think about, what is the life that you want to lead? I've been thinking about that a lot. My wife and I have been talking about, happens to be coming up on my 43rd birthday. And, there's things you start thinking about, but what is it that we want to do over the next 10 to 15 years that maybe be different than the previous 10 to 15 years. So with that, I will say, go out there, maximize your license, and live the life you dream of. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for checking out these videos. I hope they're useful. We'll cover things like rehab, exercise, business model, progressions, layout, everything else that helps you build a clinic. So if you're interested, you can click here, there, here, or anywhere to get more videos just like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you soon.